Last week, I quit painting. I realized I was never going to be as good as I expected or hoped to be. And every day I was watching someone create art that was just so much better than mine. What was the point? And then Francis Bacon came along and changed my mind. He's the guy that painted these. Lovely, isn't it? I'll explain in a bit. If you feel like quitting your art too, then this is the video for you. After watching this, you are going to break free from all your limiting beliefs and be well on your way to find your own voice as an artist. I'm taking you on a journey to find your own art style in a world where everyone seems to be much better at it than you. So the first thing I can say is practice makes progress. Getting frustrated as we learn something is normal. We want to be artists. We want to be able to express ourselves through our art, and for some reason, we believe we need to be professional grade to be able to do that. The moment I started, I was hugely disappointed with how bad I was at this. Why is this so darn hard? There was a part of me that fully expected this to come natural to me, or that I would be able to pick it up immediately. And when that didn't happen, I was ready to quit. But let's think about this. Everything in life takes learning and practice. There's just no other way to improve your art than to practice. A lot. And if you do it every day, even if it's just, some very simple exercises, you'll be able to improve quicker because you will be getting some much needed muscle memory much faster. Pros are still learning it too. Now, another major hurdle in my watercolor journey was this incredible notion that if I was good enough, creative enough, I would be able to sit down and create something from my imagination, and that I would be able to draw it perfectly from memory before even painting. And that has made me drop my brush and go do something else so many times I cannot even begin to tell you. Still does, actually. I've been meaning to do a painting of my 2 cats who passed away. I picked the photos, they were perfect, and I really wanted to do it. But just thinking of how I'll need to draw them from either looking at the photo or, from any other way to get my line art to paper, I freeze. Still haven't done it, don't know when I will. If I ever will. Because for some reason, we tend to believe that we should be able to do it. And if we don't know how to do it, we will never be good enough. And that's just not how this works. Francis Bacon, the painter, not the writer, although I do believe they were related, was a very successful painter who notoriously did not know how to draw. So notorious, in fact, that he would hide his drawings and tell people he didn't draw at all because he didn't want them to see it. And yet he made a very good living as a painter, and his work is now worth millions. Or Franz Kafka, for example, who believed so little in his talent, he asked a friend to burn all his writing when he died. It's a good thing he didn't, because now he's considered a big genius by many and has his own word in the dictionary in his honor. I think we believe this misconception because of other artists on social media. They just make it look so easy and so organic and natural. They really do make it look like they just pick up their brushes or whatever it is and create perfect stuff at their very first attempt. But guess what? They don't. They practice loads of times before filming. They use line art and photo references all the time. They're trying to make videos exciting and snappy and attention grabbing, and making mistakes, going back and forth, hesitating, just doesn't work. And nothing is original, really. At this stage, all we need to do is to learn and improve. And if that means using other people's work, other people's line art, so be it. As long as we don't try to pass it on as our own work or try to make money off of it, there is nothing wrong with stealing other people's art. And in fact, this can mean anything, from taking inspiration from their work for your own to actually putting something they drew or painted on that light pad and tracing it over to paint. At this stage, the important bit is to keep painting, which is what I've been doing with this paint by numbers kit that Crafties sent me, and they are the sponsor for today's video. The hardest part of the whole process was actually picking the right art because they have so many lovely options. But the minute I saw these 2 cats, I knew I had found my art. And they actually do look like Mushi and Nico. They are so very precious. It is teaching me so much. To be patient for one thing. Here, you struggle to see the big picture at first, but as you continue, you start to see it come to life. And that's magical. Also about painting, the itsy bitsy details with a brush, I am getting better at each one I paint. And if you're just starting out like me, there is a lot to be said about just having to worry about putting that brush to paper and enjoying yourself. No worries about line art, what paper to use, what colors to pick, and these colors are absolutely gorgeous. Nothing. Just getting in the flow and enjoying the process. These paint by number kits are so awesome, guys. Go check them out, and I will be leaving a link in the description for a 20% off discount for you guys. But guess what? You're already an artist. The moment you create anything, you're an artist. You may not be a professional artist, you may not sell your work, but you've already done it. And if you want to be a professional, you have to believe in yourself before you're able to share your art with the world and ask them how much they're willing to spend on it. Make your art your own. About feeling like what you're doing isn't enough or that you aren't learning it fast enough like I felt. Enough for what? For who? Tell me, why do you create art? Why do you do it? Even if it's your goal to make a living out of your art, you have to know that any opinion on it is subjective. Even the greatest art expert in the world cannot be completely unbiased. Be your #1 fan. And the more I think about it, the more I believe that what separates a highly successful artist from a struggling artist is self-confidence. A person who believes in their art doesn't ask if it's enough. They don't care. It's their art, it's their creativity, and that's enough. If you're trying to value how much your art is worth by what others think of it, in today's world, you are in for a world of hurt and disappointment. You've probably seen $1 million paintings you think are ugly. You've listened to award-winning songs you don't like, watched award-winning movies you regret watching because it was so bad. But somewhere, somehow, there are people who like it, who love it, who pay fortunes for it, and who are true fans. What I mean is, there is a place for every kind of art in the world, even yours. But you need to be your biggest fan first. Be a collector of ideas. I believe we all already have our own art styles. Even if you're copying something that someone painted, even if you're stealing someone's art, even if you're painting by numbers, there are differences, big differences in the two versions, and that is your personal style showing. And you hone in on that style by keeping at it. Keep making art without putting any pressure on yourself to have a distinctive style. Our art style is born out of a fusion of stuff we love in other artists. Austin Kleon said on Still Like an Artist, awesome book by the way, taught me so much. The artist is a collector, not a hoarder, mind you. There's a difference. Hoarders collect indiscriminately. Artists collect selectively. They only collect things that they really love. Here's what I've been doing, and not so much to find my art style, but more like to know what I enjoy painting, which I guess is pretty much the same thing. Pay attention to what draws you in, okay? Look for inspiration in other people's work. We have the whole world at the tip of our fingers. All the art galleries available for us to browse online. It's even better if you do it in person, of course, so go ahead and visit some museums and some galleries if you can. Try to replicate what you like on those and see how it goes. And then, once you do it enough and get comfortable with doing it, step out of your comfort zone and try things you don't really think you'll like, just to make sure. You may be surprised. So maybe you'll end up finding that you have a lot of different art styles that combined into your work makes one. That's yours. Just remember to have fun, enjoy the process, remember why you're doing it, and let your soul do the talking. Guys, I hope this helped, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye!